I was impressed with the enthusiasm of the young people. Obviously, we did get, the large majority of the young people voting last night. But the volunteers are very often the young people, the college kids that come, and they have such enthusiasm, and they respond very well to this message of freedom and a changed foreign policy where we don't sacrifice ourselves overseas and waste our resources, and we balance our budget, and we emphasize personal liberty, and we emphasize economic liberty, and they're enthusiastic about it. So I would say that this message is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's going to continue to do so.
Let's take a look at some of these polls from last night. These are the Iowa caucus entrance polls. When people took a look at those who voted by age 17 to 29, you killed in that category. 48% of young people were voting for you. When they took a look at people who characterize themselves as independent, again, at the top, 44%. But when you got to the candidate who can beat Obama, Mitt Romney came in at 49%, leading that, and you came in at a very, very low 9%. How big of a problem is that number for you, sir?
Well, I'm not quite sure how those questions were asked, but if you say that I have an attraction to young people, that's what you need. That's what Obama had. If you look at independents, what kind of a Republican thinks they can win without the independent vote? I mean, you have to get the independent vote in New Hampshire, so the primary is wide open. There are more independents than anybody else. So I would say if you're looking to Obama, and I can show you some other polls where we do very, very well, equal to how Romney does, against Obama. So I think that's down the road a little bit, but I think if you look at it carefully, you'll find out the message of liberty is appealing to everybody across the board and to others, because we have a lot of Democrats that come over and come to our rallies, as well as the enthusiasm of the young people.
What's your strategy now as you head toward New Hampshire, where you are polling significantly lower than Mitt Romney's polling?
Yeah, but I think we're in second place, and that's a good place to start. So I think we're going to have some momentum, and we're going to continue to do what we're doing. It's a live free or die state. They're very freedom oriented, so that message will spread there, and I'm confident we're going to do quite well.
Newt Gingrich said about you, he believes that you are a stunningly dangerous candidate. And he, of course, as you well know, said that he would not support you. You're laughing. Do you worry about that and his ability? I mean, he came in fourth, and he still is moving on in this race. You concerned about that at all?
Well, you know what I laugh about is that nobody disagrees with me that my reputation is I strictly adhere to the Constitution. I strictly adhere to balanced budget, never vote for spending that we can't afford, always lower taxes. I don't want to ever fight a war that's unconstitutional. And I'm the dangerous person. You know, when Newt Gingrich was called to service in the 1960s, during the Vietnam era, guess what he thought about danger? He chickened out on that. He got deferments, didn't even go. So right now, he sends these young kids over there to endure the danger, and the kids coming back and the young people coming back. And the ones in the military right now, they overwhelmingly support my campaign. We get twice as much support from the active military personnel than all the other candidates put together. So Newt Gingrich has no business talking about danger, because he's putting other people in danger. Some people call that kind of a program a chicken hawk, and I think he falls into that category.
When you look at your position on illegal drugs, I think we have a graphic that we can show folks. Your position is you would eliminate the war on drugs, you would eliminate most federal drug laws. You've spoken about that a lot. Social conservatives may have a very hard time with that. What's going to be your challenge there? Are you going to be able to maintain that position and win some social conservatives who make up a big part of the Republican Party?
Well, yeah, that is my position. It's not exactly as you cited, but I came in pretty good in a very, very socially conservative state, so that tells you it's a very popular position. We have not had a federal war on drugs in our entire history. But just to say it's legalized is not the case. I take a constitutional approach where the states regulate it, sort of like they do with alcohol. And this war on drugs has been a detriment to personal liberty. It has been a real abuse of liberty. Our prisons are full with people who have used drugs who should be treated as patients, and they're nonviolent. Someday we're going to wake up and find out that prohibition we are following right now with drugs is no more successful, maybe a lot less successful than the prohibition of alcohol was in the 20s. So people are waking up to this. This has not been harmful. I have a very conservative district in Texas. They've known my position, and they strongly support my position.
There was this tweet that I saw last night, because I follow you on Twitter, and it said, Ron Paul says, at John Huntsman, we found your one Iowa voter. He's in Lynn, Precinct 5. You might want to call him and say thanks. Did you send that?
Well, I didn't quite understand even what you just read, but obviously I didn't send it, so I don't even understand. I'm sorry I didn't get the whole message there about John Huntsman. I haven't talked about John Huntsman in a long time, so I don't know what's going on there.
Well, it was a sort of a snitty message that was sent out under your name, under your Twitter handle, at Ron Paul, was sent to another candidate, fellow candidate, and kind of a snarky message. And what you're saying is that you don't tweet for yourself, someone else is sending out messages. Is that right?
Yeah, I have some help on tweeting, yes.
Okay, so when I read that, the first thing I saw, again, because I follow you on Twitter, was that didn't sound super presidential to me. And again, your Twitter handle is supposed to be, you know, sending out your messages. Is that something that you would look at and back away from, or you say, listen, it's Twitter, who cares?
Well, I tell you the truth, I don't understand why this is an important issue or what it means, and why John Huntsman wasn't even in the campaign. So I'm not sure the importance of what you're talking about. It just seems to be irrelevant to me.